All right, it's a beautiful sunny day outside, so I decided to go ahead and open up the garage door, let in some fresh air. We got this wheel here. I'm gonna tear this thing apart, and then we're gonna rebuild it with some different gauge spokes. So we're gonna washer up the different nipples that are gonna go in there. First things first, gotta take off the rotor, take off all these little spokey dokey things. We're also gonna take off the liner, and we're gonna remove the whole thing. So I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna make a little quick video about how breaking this thing down. And then we'll make another video on putting it back together. So let's get it going. We're gonna get this rotor off of here. Now, a lot of guys in the shop will use this, which is the TWS3 bi-part tool. A bunch of other companies make them. This is probably the most popular for most bike shops. And I don't know if you can see it, but this has already been twisted up a little bit by tightening and over tightening on that bad boy, just by trying to torque everything on there. So now I'm trying to get myself in the habit of using one of these, which is a T25 on the end of one of these. The only problem in sometimes doing this is sometimes you can't over torque it because you have so much leverage. But for breaking the bolts loose, that's the best thing to do. Go nice and slow. Make sure you're holding onto the wheel nice and stout, nice and secure. And don't just push it, just keep it going until you feel it move. I did this one, I did that one. Now I'm doing this one. Always alternate on pressure. There we go. And now I'm going to go all the way to the opposite here. Nice and slow until it goes. There we go. This is just to prevent from stripping out the bolt here. I do have new bolts, but just in case I need to reuse these, I like to do that. And these bolts will possibly tighten over time. They do have a blue Loctite on them, and with the heat of braking, if they're tight, it could tighten these up a little bit. More often than not, I have actually seen these bolts loosen up over time because they were not double checked after installed and ridden a couple times, especially on electric motors that get very hot. All right. So we're going to take this off here. So get the rotor off, and we do the rest. Bam. Bam. And I don't know if you noticed, but we actually have some spacers behind this to get the rotor to sit correctly. So let me go ahead and do this. Let's figure out what's going on here. And that's right, there's spacers behind this one to get the rotor to sit in the right spot. But we're not going to be using these anymore. All right, so for some reason, there's a bunch of these little spacers, these little Shimano lock spacers for whenever you get Shimano rotors. It's got a bunch of these behind it. I don't know why. It's probably to space it out an extra 0.5 millimeter so it doesn't rub. But we're putting on a new hub, so we're gonna get rid of all those things. And they were all stacked on like this from end to end, and two on top of each other. Really weird. All right, so that's the rotor. Let's get all these little spokey things off. These are lights right here that are snapped on. spoke sleeves are off. Let's take the sleeve off here. I'm gonna take a little small flathead screwdriver that's quite worn. This has got a little bent tip to it there. So I should be able to get it right where the nipple's at right there and kind of get underneath it. And it might be long enough for me to get this all the way off the other end there. I like to have this little lip here on this thing. That way I can kind of get it up and over and eventually get it all the way through. And now, let's see if I can push the whole thing over a little bit because it is tight. But we're gonna get it. Let's work it. Okay, and now I'm going to go to this side and try to come underneath it and see if I can pull it up and over the edge here. Sure, I had to move the camera a little bit, folks. I was kicking it. So let's get back to where we were. We're about here. Now this is the fun part, trying to get this up and over the side of the rim here. Stretch, stretch. I'm putting my fingers underneath here, and I'm doing this with this until eventually it will start to come up and over the edge of the rim. And you can make sure you hold on to that. Go around and start peeling it up. You just don't want to poke the rim strip. I'm going to stuff that in there for right now. And let's get it going. The fun part. The part that really ruined your fingers. There we go. This rim here, they have, I think these are 12 gauge spokes that are on here, which should be. The blue of them, so on the Park one, this is the, can't remember, it doesn't say what size it is. It's the blue. I know I have 1, 2, or it's called 0, 1, and 2 on this bad boy, which is not big enough. The black one is a 0, which is not big enough. It's going to be on the Park tool, the blue. And then I'm going to start on one side, loosen it up to go that way. Start on the other side, loosen it up to go that way. The reason why I want to do that is because I don't want to warp the rim while loosening this up. So you're only going to do basically one side at a time. So go ahead and unscrew it. You know, still a little bit. Now these are going to be very, very, very tight. If they're too tight to turn, you can always pre-lube them and then go from there. I'm going to go ahead and pre-lube it. So let's take a look at me pre-lubing it and then loosening it up. The trusty old school tri-flow. You can see I've had this bottle forever. We're going to put a little drop on every bit of the nipple and the rim on each one, and then go from there. That way you can see it. Now let's now see if that little bit of lubricant helped out a bit. Let's find out. Oh man, those are tight. It is slipping better though. 1, 2 full turns. Let's go all the way around one side and do all that. Oh man, those are tight. go. All right, we got one side loosened up a little bit. So the other side should be easier to do. Oh yeah, look at that, much easier because there's a lot less pressure on the spokes because they were really, really tight. All right, let's do this. Now I've got these loosened up a little bit. That little flathead screwdriver that I had from earlier, let's see if that might help me out. Unscrewing these a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to keep dropping it. So I'll go ahead and put that down for now. These should be loose enough for me to go ahead and just unscrew from here. This is the boring part. Just remember that this is what they call a two-cross. So these two spokes that are crossing each other before they hit the rim, this spoke is crossing the path of this one, but it's also crossing the path of this one where it comes out of the hub. So this is a two-cross. So this spoke comes out of the hub, goes across the path of this one, and then goes across the path of this one before it gets to there. So this is a two-cross. I'm going to go ahead and relace it when I do the new spokes and measure it out and do it for a two-cross. And we're also going to go over that as well. So let's finish tearing this apart. Now I've only removed spokes from one side of the rim. The main reason why is because a lot of times the side with the non-disc side or non-drive side needs to be longer in order for this to be dished correctly in the center, and they're making room for the disc brake on here. So I've only removed one side, that way I can separate the different lengths of spokes in case I need to reuse these ones. But I don't think I'm going to, but I still want to know what lengths they are. I still want to make sure. So whenever you're tearing these apart, if you're ever needing to rebuild them, always make sure on disc wheels and on rear wheels that are dished differently, one side, the length will be longer than the other side. So just tear them apart one side at a time. Or if you do tear them apart, make sure that you're pulling all the stuff from one hub off of one side and then pulling all the other stuff off of one hub from another side. So these are all like this now. There we go. And my stupid neighbor make all this noise with all of his toys. There we go. go. And the truth. Just loosen that up. Pull this off. Rim. There we go. Let's tear all these out. All right, while my neighbor's making more noise, let's go ahead and we're gonna separate these. Let's go ahead and try this. We're gonna do disc side over here. There we go. See, sometimes you have to wobble it to get the elbow of that just right from here. These are not. Come on. I'll just start out. Let's do this. I'm gonna push it up like that. Makes it easier to do it this way. And now we can pull these out. Bam. All right, they're now separated. Let's take a look at the length. All right, a trusty Park Tool ruler here. Inches, metric. Mine starts there where that little hole is. So the non-drive side, or the non-disc side, sorry. These say they're 172. And then let's see what the disc side says. 171. So these are 1 millimeter shorter on the disc side than they are on the non-disc side. So I was correct on how those are. So when we're going to build them up, we're also going to do the same thing on the new hub, which I have right here. I have different spokes, different hubs. The thing about this is that this is designed for a wider fork. So we're going to now replace this with this, but with all new spokes and everything else. So on to the next adventure. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. We're going to be going on to the next adventure here, as I said a little bit ago. And we're going to be rebuilding these bikes. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.